It's about that time I get up close and personal with you all about losing my virginity. This is actually not about me, but what an interesting title it is. It's amazing what books can do for your mind. I just concluded the first part of Richard Branson's autobiography. I am quite curious. I would like to find out who came up with that title. It's a title that will indeed make you want to flip through the pages of the book and glean all the knowledge and ideas that you can. Richard Branson is such a risk taker. You know what they say about risk? The greater the risk, the greater the rewards. If you are not a risk taker, I think you will be inspired by reading this book and learning of all the risk that produced huge results for Richard Branson. He is also the most celebrated entrepreneur in the world, and I understand why, because he is such a humane man. He is people-centered. Important to grow up in a family that will support you and love you, and he had a family like that who would do anything, who would die for each other. For parents, it's so key because a child wants to grow up in a home that is nurturing and caring, and they want to know that they have the strong backing of their loved ones, of their immediate family. And it may not necessarily be every single person in the family. It could be the mother, it could be the father, it could be an aunt, it could be a sister or a brother. But the point is, you can't underestimate the value of family when it comes to the development of a child. That goes a long way in building the child's confidence and making him or her feel like she can take on the world. So Richard Branson's family, amazing. He didn't know how to swim, but then his aunt assured him that if he was able to swim, she will reward him with some amount of money. And I guess he had a very strong why to achieve that goal of learning how to swim. And so he took on the challenge and he learned how to swim on his own. Remember what I said about him being a risk taker? That is a huge risk. What if he drowned? And when he took up the challenge, he had the support of his family there watching him, and encouraging him. And he did actually swim successfully after a lot of struggle. Also in the book, I learned that he had a very slow ability to learn, but that didn't discourage him. He took the advantage in school to do something meaningful with his life by starting a school magazine to cater to the needs and concerns of students. He didn't see himself as a write-off. He saw that he had something to contribute to society, and I think that is brilliant. He's gone ahead to make a huge impact in the world. When I said that he is a risk taker, he is indeed a risk taker. All through the book, I see instances where he takes up challenges, he takes up risk, but then he applies principles, life universal principles that work. He isn't ashamed to reveal in the book how emotional he is and how he gets to cry at certain instances. I love the relationship that he has with his children, with his family, with his wife. It's amazing. I love how he has a strong sense of belief in himself. If you don't take yourself seriously, the world won't take you seriously. So he believed he could make an impact, and from the student magazine, he opened the Virgin Studio and started signing on artists. And if you didn't know, he signed most of the successful music artists that we hear about today, the likes of Janet Jackson. There's this other one, I can't remember his name right now, but he went for raw talent and signed up artists that became really successful. Such an amazing guy. Another strategic thing that Richard Branson did was, in his career, he constantly kept on surrounding himself with the best brains. He ran a meritocracy kind of leadership style, which is the best idea wins. Most CEOs or leaders will insist that it should be their own way or the highway. But with Richard, no, he triangulates his ideas as well, a principle that Ray Dalio talked about in his book Principles, with experienced people in the field. When he was in the music industry, he triangulated his ideas with the people who he saw that they had a special skill for identifying potentially great music, and then from there he evolved and went into the airlines. And he is someone that takes huge initiative, and when an idea comes to him, he seizes it. He's someone that seizes opportunities. He doesn't let opportunities to go by, as long as he has thought about it. And then once he is settled within, and this is key, your intuition, he is someone that follows his intuition to the core. You can tell him no, you can tell him yes, but he decides to go with what his heart tells him. Oprah Winfrey said this, that your intuition is always right. Your heart cannot lead you astray. He's been constantly looking for ways to make the world a better place. He's also been interested in humanitarian causes, like visiting South Africa to help with eradicating HIV/AIDS. Someone who is caring, he's someone who is vulnerable, he's someone who is a go-getter, a risk taker. The most important thing I would like for you to take out of this video is to know that your intention has to be right. Richard Branson's intention is super right. He didn't set out to make money. You have to understand that successful people's number one intention is to make the world a better place. Have you read the book Losing My Virginity by Richard Branson? If you have, I encourage you to drop your comments in the comment section so that we can learn and grow. Also, I am looking forward to reading the part 2, Finding My Virginity. I will see you in my next video. Peace and angels.